What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Dime Dropper after our All-Star break for the second half of the season. Recap number 55. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms at YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcasts. Leave a review if you'd like. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Dime Dropper Pod. And yeah, that's about it. For tonight's recap, we're going to be briefly going over my Clips beating the Warriors, absolutely destroying them. And we're going to also talk about the Celtics and the Nets. So I'm feeling very good tonight. A good old-fashioned beatdown. The Clips, we've gotten some good old-fashioned beatdowns this season. It's just so much less stress. It's comfortable. No questions, no concerns. I mean, there are some concerns. And, there are some concerns still. I can't honestly even think of them because we were so good tonight. But we played great. We played great from the beginning. Our defense was sharp. I thought Kawhi, his energy from the beginning was good. But in the beginning, nobody besides him could make shots. He scored 14 of our 28 points in the first. He was just having one of those nights where he was hitting. And then the Warriors were staying in it. I think Wiggins, Curry, mostly Wiggins, though. Curry got off to a slower start shooting the ball, but Wiggins was hitting some shots. Oubre wasn't too bad in the beginning, so they were staying in it. So that's why we were only up 2 after 1. But the second quarter is where we really made our mark. And that was because we had our, Lou, Mook, Zoo lineup. But what we did was we went to a zone. And the Warriors went small and didn't play Wiseman. I don't like that decision if I'm the Warriors. I don't know why you're not playing Wiseman. Kerr, I know it doesn't necessarily align with the timeline, but how is he going to learn? You're not going to get – what are the Warriors going to do this season? They're going to be a first-round team. I don't know if there was an injury I didn't know about. Let me know, Warriors fans. But from what I saw some people commenting on Twitter that why isn't Kerr playing Wiseman? And I like Wiseman. He needs to develop, and these are games where he needs to play. Because what's the big deal? You're going to lose anyway. You're probably going to lose. If the Clippers brought their A game, which they did, and that all comes from energy, defensive intensity, talking. Paul George, first half, he did not shoot the ball very well, but he was talking. And when we went to that zone, he was talking a lot. And I like the zone for 2 reasons. One, it hides Zoo and pick and roll because in certain combos, he can be a little slow. I don't think the Warriors had that particular combo tonight, but I think that's what they want to accomplish by going small ball like the way that they do with that second unit with Pascal at the 5 so they can spread everybody out. But when we went to zone, so you got to give Ty Lue and the coaching staff credit for that. When we went to the zone, it takes away that pick and roll threat. As I talked about, it is the NBA getting better and better, which if you haven't checked out, get me to 1,000 views on part 2 and part 3. I just had one guy come at me though in part 3 with some nonsense though, talking about using Kevin Garnett's quote to back him up. Ding, ding, ding. Come on, buddy. Man, the illegal defense heads. Oh, God. Anyway, let's get back on topic. But as I said, one of the reasons we see teams going zone more is to kill that pick and roll threat. So we don't get exposed in the pick and roll as much when Zoo's just kind of sitting around in the paint. And not only that, you hide Lou on defense as well. And Paul George is doing a good job, right in the middle of that zone, talking constantly. And we were getting active hands. We were forcing a lot of turnovers. That Warriors second unit, I think that they left Stephen Curry out way too long. And we took advantage of it. Lou started out the quarter on the right foot, getting to the paint, getting to the basket. He started out with a bucket, then he dropped it off to Zoo, and then he, made his falling shot left. And then Mook, again, picking up right where he left off before the break, hitting his jumpers, hitting his threes. Marcus Morris Sr., 2 for 4 from 3 tonight, and 3 of 6 from the field. Only in 23 minutes, efficient, plus 21, 9 points, active, making a point on the game. How about Ivica Zubac doing his thing as well? Just finishing around the basket. Not that much, though. He played 16 minutes. And then how about Nick Batum? I thought because of that zone, yeah, we blew it open. Paul George was creating. Kawhi Leonard ended the second quarter very well as right off the bench came back and started eating again. But it was really that third quarter where we just gave the Warriors no chance. We scored 45 points, and it came from Paul George, who, again, wasn't really getting the favorable whistle. I think he needs to go up stronger, though, still. But at the same time, he can't get discouraged if he doesn't get the early whistle. Keep putting pressure on the refs. The second quarter was particularly boring, but I liked it because we were winning. But it was particularly boring because there were a lot of fouls being called. Like the refs just went ticky-tack style out there. And we benefited from it. I'm not going to say we didn't, but Paul George didn't necessarily. And I thought in the third quarter, though, he just started hitting shots. He started driving and kicking. We were making the extra pass. Reggie Jackson, I'm not positive he hit a three, but I know Nick Batum did. Nick Batum was great again. You know, he just got great size, great length. So he bothers players with his contests, and he's just a smart player, smart defender. He had 8 points tonight, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from three, keeping a high percentage, keeping it efficient. Kawhi, I think he had 20 points in the first half and only 8 points in the second. He finished with 28, 10 to 17. It's awesome when you have a night like this. We were first to every ball. We forced a good amount of turnovers. We check how many turnovers we forced. 16. And yeah, I think we did a good job taking advantage of that. This was a great performance all the way around. But the concern, Patrick Beverley, getting injured again or knee soreness, constantly knee soreness. Is that going to be the death of this team? Patrick Beverley's injury concerns have quite frankly been a thing since he got here. They've been a thing in Houston. They just don't get talked about very much. And you know what? I love the guy. Like, I have not many bad things to say about Bev. You know, he definitely talked too much last year. But overall, he's been great for the Clips. And he gives his all every time he plays, and we do much better when he plays. But it may be time to think about moving on and exploring something new. Not because I don't trust him on the court, but I don't trust that he can be on the court enough. And that's a problem. And when it's something as serious as a point guard in the modern NBA where it's so guard-driven, I don't know if having Patrick Beverley as our starting point guard with his health is going to be the move that makes us a championship team. We clearly know we're lacking something. A lot of people have been saying we should get a point guard. I've insisted that that's not the narrative, but I'm saying it for a different reason. I'm not saying it because we don't create good shots at the end of games. I think Kawhi and Paul George need to just be better in that regard. But I just think that the availability is tough. And you know what? Fuck it. And if it makes us get a good floor general, why not? It's becoming worrisome. It's becoming very worrisome. But anyway, you know, let's stay back onto the game. I thought we did a great job. We had him out of sight in the third quarter. I thought we did a great job making sure that Curry didn't get off. We threw 2 bodies at him on multiple occasions, on majority of the action. Pick and roll, he would throw 2 on him. The difference is Paul George is getting them from 3, so we made them pay, whereas they make it so easy to go get the ball out of Curry's hands sometimes. You know, like, for example, they were 9 of 36 from 3, 25%. That's just not going to cut it. That's just not going to cut it against a team of our caliber. And it was great to see Paul George and Kawhi playing again together. It's been a long time. So great win overall. A fantastic start to the second half of the season. My player of the game is Kawhi. He just set the tone on both ends of the floor. He guarded Andrew Wiggins, which is the second best scorer on the Warriors. And I just liked what he said after the game. You know, we need to play hard this second half of the season. Historically, the second half of the season is when you kick it into gear. You know, this All-Star weekend was a joke. That's all I'm going to say about it. It was a joke. It shouldn't have happened. The All-Star game has become a disgrace, quite frankly. I'm not asking players to try that hard, but it's been a joke since I started watching. But for the most part, when I was younger, like the NBA, it was much more seriousness later in the games and just, relatively. But it is what it is. We're back in the second half of the season, and we are off to a good start. 25-14 is our record. Paul George had a good game for me because his defense stayed sharp. He still created 5 assists, 1 turnover, kept it low, a plus 32. Paul George had the highest plus-minus of any Clipper, so I thought he did well enough for me. 5 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, and he got better as the game progressed. I liked, by the way, my Wi-Fi my cable, Wi-Fi, everything's just been fucking up for me lately. So I didn't even get to see the fourth quarter to see the kiddies play, Luke and Terrence Mann. I still want to see more Luke. I still stand by that. I still want to see more Terrence. But you never know. Maybe the second half of the season, this is where Ty Lue's trying to start shortening the rotation, and stop experimenting as much. But I really love what Terrence brings to the table because of the defensive side of things. And Lue is not always going to play well. And I do like Kennard. I really do like Kennard. I mean, he scored 8 points in 12 minutes. But anyway, 130 to 104 is the final score from the Staples Center. The Clippers win it. The Warriors drop to 19-19 as we move on to the Celtics and the Nets, both of our dime dropper teams. Of course, I was hoping the Celtics win this game because I hate the Nets. But I thought the Celtics, by the way, welcome back Marcus Smart. What a welcome back it was for him. He had a great game with 19 points. And you know what he offers on the defensive end of things. He played 21 minutes, but let's talk about the game from the beginning. The Celtics were great in the beginning. I mean, I think that was the only quarter, though, in which, besides the third quarter, in which they won. In the third quarter, they only won by 1. They won the first quarter by 6 points because they came out with great energy defensively. I thought Kemba was great. I'm pretty sure he had a really nice block and a deflection. He was active. Daniel Tice was doing a really good job helping on pick and rolls and switching on to guys on occasion. And I thought Jalen started out great because he was guarding Harden to start the game. So I really loved seeing that. And I thought Kemba had a pep in his step in that first quarter. He was 3 of 4 in the first. Tatum was good. Tristan Thompson was active. He had a really nice bounce pass in the first quarter to a cutting Kemba Walker. And I thought it was a good first quarter for the Celtics. But the second quarter, it was the Kyrie Irving show. Kyrie Irving has had a bone to pick with Boston. He killed them in the Christmas game that we have. If you look at my folder of the recaps, it's there, game number 2, Christmas Day, recap number 2. Kyrie was unbelievable tonight. He had that shot that he has. It's from around 8 feet, 10 feet, like right in the middle of the paint, drifting left, is just butter. He puts a lot of arc on it, and it just feels like it swishes every time. He's got such great touch around the basket, and nobody could guard him tonight. The Celtics were doing making it very clear they didn't want Harden to beat them and try to limit his shot attempts and throwing 2 guys at him as much as possible. And, he shot 16 times tonight, which is not insane. And they kept him from 1 of 8 from 3. But I didn't think Harden was bad because I thought that he scored in ways like still creating. For example, he still got 8 assists. He did have 7 turnovers, though. But I thought that he didn't take many bad shots, really. And he played decent defense. He played good defense. He has good hands. He had 2 blocks and a steal. So you see that there. But overall, I thought that Landry Shamet, by the way, got to give the old Clipper guy some love. He played well in the first quarter, 4 of 4 from 3 to start the game. He finished 6 of 9 from 3 and 6 of 12 from the field, 18 points. This was one of his best games as a net. He was plus 21, which was the best on the Nets. And I personally think that's kind of what made the difference is the Nets second unit outdid the Celtics second unit. Jeff Green was plus 18. Nick Claxton was plus 10. But part of the reason why this was possible was because Kyrie Irving was in that second unit. And playing with that second unit. They staggered James Harden and Kyrie, which you got to give Nash credit, man. He is, with everything that he's had to deal with the roster changes that he's had to deal with, he has absolutely killed it with this team. He has proven that he's already, in my opinion, a better, smarter coach than D'Antoni. That being said, though, D'Antoni may have not had this level of talent, but for how quickly and how much pressure has been put on him and how many changes and how much drama has been around this team between the Kyrie Irving sage, between Kyrie Irving's sabbatical, from Kevin Durant constantly being out, from Harden coming, he's killed it, man. He's killed it. And one of the reasons why he's killed it, I think, has been a guy, Joe Harris. He's consistently been in the lineup and consistently been producing. He didn't have the best shooting game tonight, 4 of 10 and 3 of 9 from 3, but I thought he was good. I think Tyler Johnson's not a bad add to the second unit of this team. I think he can shoot the ball, and I think he always plays with, a good amount of energy to me whenever I watch him. So why not? 6 points for him. Only 17 minutes, though. But overall, I thought the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, just didn't have a great start shooting the ball, and I think he started second-guessing himself a lot, taking some bad shots. There were a couple of times he was coming off screens, and he just didn't feel like taking the mid-range. I think he was a little scared of DeAndre Jordan's contest and tried to, take him to the basket a little bit, and I think DJ was getting away with a little bit of hand-checking sometimes, so Jaylen didn't get the clean look that he wanted, and, I thought that he just struggled. And I think he just missed shots that he does make, though, a lot of them. But 12 threes out of 23 shots is just too much. It's just too much. For how well he shot in the mid-range and how decent he is finishing around the basket, that's too much for JB. And I think that Kemba Walker really fizzed out as the game went on. Just fizzed out. Third quarter, the only thing, the only positive for the Celtics, I'd say, was the ending they had to the second quarter, mostly because of Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart. I thought part of the reason the Celtics went down in the second, not just because of Kyrie Irving destroying them, was because they kept taking too many threes. They get way too three-point happy because they're not a good three-point shooting team. They're not. And I know bringing Marcus Smart back is good for that in that regard, but you can't just, when you're missing, you got to relax. Get a different look. Peyton Pritchard also, that's our guy, but he has been in a little slump since the beginning of the season. I can't lie. He's got to be better in terms of just making shots. He's got to just complete those plays around the basket. And, if he's going to take contested threes, he's got to make them. He's taking too many and he's not making them anymore. I love we like PP3, or as he was at Oregon, fast PP. Whatever. But yeah. The Celtics don't get enough from their bench offensively, and bringing Smart back may help that, but tonight it just didn't come. Every single Celtic player in the minus off the bench, including Smart, who had 19 points. Jeff Teague didn't do much for me. He did hustle. He had some moments where he hustled, but he just didn't do much for me. 5 points, minus 13, nothing notable in any other statistical category for me to even say. The Time Lord, he had a decent impact, 6 blocks. I thought he was pretty good. Despite the plus minus, I thought he was pretty good. Daniel Tice, I thought he was decent. I really thought he was decent, especially to start the third quarter, which was, to follow up that second quarter. Jason Tatum, by the way, to end that second quarter, he had some beautiful plays. Mid-range, he was getting in the post on Shamet and taking some pages out of his favorite playbook, Kobe Bryant's, Kobe Bryant's playbook, turning over the left shoulder fade. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. And then in the third quarter, Tice started out really well. Both ends of the floor again. 7 of 10 in the game for Tice. That was just 7 of 10 from the field, 17 points and 8 boards. I thought he was great. Plus 6, which was the highest on the C's. I thought Tristan Thompson was all right. I do not know if he should have been ending the game, though. I would have rather had Smart because I think the congestion in the offense doesn't help Tatum, and it forces him to, it makes it hard for him because the defense tightens up, and he was turning the ball over late in games. The Celtics were down around 2 in the fourth quarter, and Tatum lost the ball, and then total mental breakdowns on the Celtics part. The hottest player in the game all night long, Kyrie Irving, left wide open for threes multiple times in that second half, and that really did the Celtics in. You combine that with the fact that Kemba fizzed out. Jaylen Brown was 5 of 23, 3 of 12 from 3 with 4 turnovers and 13 points. That is not going to cut it from your all-star. Just not good enough from the Celtics at all, and to end the game. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be better when Smart gets more minutes. But again, Jaylen Brown needs to be a little bit better. Jason Tatum needs to be better at the end of games. And hopefully the Celtics can get a more small ball look with Smart in the game late. That's it for tonight, guys. By the way, I saw some ridiculousness on Twitter today. Ridiculousness coming from the Laker Twitter. Once again, as I'm talking about, as I always say on this show, the absolute casualness of getting caught up in the moment, of wanting to push what you believe because it's what you've seen and what you've grown up with, instead of actually putting in research. Talking about Anthony Davis if he wins a ring this year, is going to surpass Wilt Chamberlain as a Laker, or he has already surpassed, or something like that. And no, one guy said he's almost surpassed Kareem. Do you know how stupid these? No. And there's no. This is why I'm saying it. It's not random people. These were guys with thousands of followers, like Laker. Like one of them had a verified check, and the other one had 5,000 followers and hosted a podcast. One of them really said he's catching up to Kareem. He got ratioed like crazy. Like people tweeted the shit out of him. But man, it is crazy how sick some of these people are. Do I need to remind everybody about Wilt Chamberlain? I see a lot of slander for him. 47 minutes a game average at age 35 to defeat the best player in the league and contain him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in 1972. After the Lakers had choked repeatedly in the finals, he helped them get over the hump and won finals MVP. Anthony Davis, as great as he is, has LeBron James, who at the end of the day takes all the criticism, and is going to get the praise because at the end of the day, he's the alpha male that makes the plays at the end of the games. But anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. I'm peacing out. Now we're going to go to the live chat. Super chat's turned on. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow for the Lakers. Peace. What's up, y'all? Meaning that more people quote tweeted it than liked it. How we doing, people? Yeah, Warriors second unit doesn't always get the job done. You think Blake's going to sabotage the Nets, Brian? Come on. Okay, Trez and Gasol aren't trash. They just don't offer rim protection. This fool Maxwell Valencia again. Thank you, Maniac Lane. I appreciate you. This is Phil Maxwell. Yep, views Locust Clippers 1. You already know it's going to be crickets. You already know it's going to be crickets. Yep, Bev is concerned. Bev is a concern. You always ask if I'm laggy, Maniac Lane. We need Rondo. I would love Rondo and PJ Tucker, man. I would love Rondo and PJ Tucker. Who's J? Oh, it's Jaden again. And you. Oh, you got these guys in here. Marcus Smart. This guy. Nah, man. I got to start being more serious out here, man. I can't be doing sexual fucking shit. OnlyFans garbage. I can't, man. I gotta build a real brand here. Nah, I think the threes are a problem. You know me. Blake? My thoughts on Blake are that, I mean, he's going to be able to make plays. He's going to help. But I don't think it's anything significant. I think he could be a problem on defense. Kawhi was attacking those boys. You already know. The threes also don't get you back into games. If anything, a lot of teams, when they're down, panic and start chucking threes and get further down into games. It was happening a ton. Hi, I'm Clippers Chat, and this is a Yule. I was hooping tonight. You were? How was it? Yeah, definitely casuals. Would you rather replace Lou Will and Pat Bev for a playmaker / defender guard and a 3-and-D guard with size? Yes. What kind of question is that, Gab? Come on. Hey, buddy. Tier 1 of GOATs is Braun. What tier greatest GOAT goes to MJ? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Gab. Real credentialed Laker people saying shit like that. Absolute disregard for history. But you know how it is with these casuals. They whatever they see is what's NBA history. It starts when they're born. Whatever that shit's funny, bro. Really funny. Have I eaten? I actually have to eat some dinner. Steph played with Braun and couldn't stand his teammates anymore. Oh, yeah. Steph looked frustrated tonight. He didn't like the energy. Didn't like the energy. The NBA's back. Time for the Clippers to stop fucking around. I feel you. What's up, Dime? I didn't watch the games today. Was busy binge watching the 95 Eastern Conference semifinals between Ewing's Knicks and Reggie's Miller's Pacers. That sounds dope. Was it very physical? Very, very intense series? Thank you. Thank you. Time for press. Dude, Yule, I don't know, man. I think we need to get a certain amount of followers before we start getting into the merch, man. Dude, this Dodgers shirt, I don't know, smaller than I expected, fam. And in due time with the merch, though. We got to have some, like, I got to have some shirts that are like, no Gen Z bots or something. So, I don't know, something ridiculous. I'm so soft. Oh, yeah. What's up, Michael George? How we doing? Yeah. ESPN posted a similar post about AD. Yeah. Nonsense, man. Wilt Chamberlain. and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Until Anthony Davis wins a Finals MVP, he can't be better than those guys. Is that so? Pau Gasol's better than Wilt as a Laker now? 47 minutes a game. The internet would break if LeBron averaged 47 minutes a game in the finals and won Finals MVP. It'd actually break. They wouldn't shut up about it. Derek Fisher. Why is Pat Bev always getting hurt? I don't know, man. Ask him. Best center ever? Either Bill Russell or Kareem. I watch full Magic Johnson games. Hey, they're available, man. He is super entertaining. To me, he's like what basketball is all about. Like whenever I watch him play, it's all the things I love about basketball in one player. He just plays with so much enthusiasm. And he'd be clowning people on the court. Shaq would own him. I wasn't, bro, Michael George. I wasn't tense last night. You got to understand. A guy was coming at me who had never watched my videos, doesn't hop on our lives, listen to me talk every single night. I didn't need to explain myself with the Lakers and the Clippers in that midseason thing because I talk about them every night. So if I'm expecting that most of my subscribers are going to watch that video, not randos. So I catered it to you guys. So I didn't go in depth about the Clippers and the Lakers in the video. So he was saying like, oh, you said it with such certainty. I said it with such certainty because you guys know I think Embiid should be MVP. I said it with such certainty because of that. He was getting butthurt because he's like Laker fans. He never tuned in. He's like, why are these guys so it's because, man, he's probably watching Laker games. You got to watch Embiid. Lakers Mount Rushmore. Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Jerry West. Honorable mentions Shaq and Baylor. Would you put Shaq in that? This guy was saying Shaq is an undoubted top 3 Laker of all time. He's such a freaking casual for that. He's not better than Jerry West as a Laker. Jerry West, first of all, Jerry West would never dare to put on a Celtic uniform. I don't care what Shaq did for the Lakers. Come on now. Let's stop. Wilt. Jay Scrub. I haven't seen him play enough, man. Yeah, Jonah, that's the only thing they got from the 1969 season, I'm pretty sure. Like actual game footage. Except for the All-Star game, which I highly recommend. Yeah, statistically, Brent, if your criteria is statistically based, Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. If your criteria is statistically based, he is the GOAT. Because there are statistical records, and then there's Wilt. He's in a different class. Do I think the Clippers can win the championship this year? I think we can. Do I think we will if I had to choose? No. We need some change. Yeah, John Lentz, man. I think Magic and Bird are like my 2 favorite players like to ever play, like just playing style-wise, man. They just bring everything in love about basketball in 2 players. It's just fantastic. Oh, thanks, Maniac Lane. I appreciate that. What's up, Jay Love? Thank you, Jaden. Laker fan too sensitive nowadays. What's your thoughts on Rondo winning the Lakers and the Celtics a ring? I'm happy for him. I love Rondo. And I think that it's a cool story. And I think that it's so far removed from the Celtics that Celtics fans are disappointed to see it, but can't hate on it. And I saw Celtics fans posting about it when it happened. So they have no bitterness. They love Rondo. So, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, what they love is that Rondo's best days, we're going to be talking about Celtic Rondo when we talk about him, ultimately. And that's how I feel about Chris Paul. When we're going to talk about it in 20 years, it's going to be, man, when Chris Paul was on the Lob City Clippers, he was that dude. At the end of the day, when we talk about Chris Paul, that's going to be the guy. He was nice in New Orleans, but whole body of work, Clipper Chris Paul is the GOAT of Chris Pauls. Lou Dort or Marcus Smart? Who's better defensively? I'm going to go with Marcus Smart because I've seen him for longer, and I know that he can guard people so much bigger than him. Yeah, Gab, low-key, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I think if Wilt and Shaq played each other, I think Shaq would struggle. I think Shaq would struggle because I think Wilt would be able to outrun. I think Wilt would be able to play both paces a lot easier, and I think that Wilt's turnaround is pretty lethal. They're around the same size, but Wilt has stupid bounce. Like, I don't know. I think Shaq would have trouble with him. Magic and Bird versus Braun and KD in a 2v2 only. I did see that. Who should we trade for the deadline, or are we solid? I would love to get George Hill because he's experienced and smart. But yeah, a point guard. I would be down to trade Bev at this point. I'd be down to trade Lou, or Reggie even when his stock's high. Maybe even a backup, agile big, like one really athletic. I don't know, but like JaVale McGee. If we just get him as like a third big, that'd be dope. I think. But I think somebody that can take people off the bounce though. That's what we need. We need somebody that can take people off the bounce. Like that's the main thing we need. What? PG has shown he's improved. He does not look the same as last season. He looks so much better this season, Brent. Come on. That sounds like a casual take. Clippers own Los Angeles. Just not true. Just not true. The Los Angeles Fakers have 0 real rings. No, you cannot be a mod. I don't trust you, Jaden. You guys are too much of clowns. I'm sorry. Didn't Wilt bench like 600 pounds as predicted? Oh, stop crying about that CP3 trade. I used to hate Rondo when he was a Celtic, and I even joked he looks like the gay cheerleader from the longest yard, but he has a fan for me in life. Do you think the Clippers are better without Harrell? Yes, for sure. Wilt is a physical embodiment of a monster, and he was playing more than 48 minutes a game in one season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a superhuman, so I don't think. Yeah, favorite NFL player ever, Dime? I'd say Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, and Reggie Bush are my 3 favorites. But I'd say Aaron Donald is slowly becoming my favorite. But Reggie Bush, because of USC, and my dad went there at the time, so like he was my first. I liked USC football before I liked Clipper basketball. That was actually my first team I liked because of Reggie, because my dad was going there at the time. And Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Dwayne Jarrett and Lindale White, Pete Carroll, those were the days. Reggie Bush would do something spectacular every play. The 7-year-old me, every single time you saw Reggie Bush play, he would do some wild shit every time. Lowry, I mean, if we can, man, that'd be incredible. No Drummond. No, I don't know about Whiteside. Maybe Whiteside. Maybe Whiteside, just because we can play him very little. Very little, though. PG-13 looks more comfortable this year, but the Lakers always run Los Angeles. Now, you see the new earned playoff jerseys? I don't really like a lot of them. Wilt or MJ in a 1v1? I honestly have no idea with those type of things because it's like I've never seen them play each other. Like, I don't know how Wilt would be able to guard a player with that has the leniency to dribble the way MJ did, because nobody in Wilt's era dribbled like that. And with hand checking, though, I would not want to. I don't know about Wilt would be tough. Like Jordan can't guard Wilt, no matter what. He can't guard Wilt. So I think Wilt, man. I don't know, man. Wilt, he's too big. No hand check, I don't know, but hand check, which is what they both played with, I'm taking Wilt. Ty Baller. If PG performs in the playoffs this year, he should be cleared forever because he did do great in Indiana. That means he needs to overcome this mental barrier. This is like LeBron in 2011, even 2010 in game 5 and 6. He didn't play very well compared to his previous games. This is like that moment for Paul. He needs to be able to get there. All right, y'all. I got to go. He's literally all Raptor fans begging for him back. Yeah, well, they're not going to get him back. Rick Barry's extremely underrated. Extremely. Oh, Pat Bev and Luke Kennard for George Hill. I don't know about that, man. Honestly, I'd rather probably keep Oladipo. Ooh, I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe a little too much ego there right now. All right. I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Obviously, peace out. My favorite other final series, I love 2019. I love 2013. 2016 is not terrible. 2013 and 1980. All right. Peace.